welcome to the Capital Dance Studio for the first time, Fisher. Studio crew, make some noise! The fact is, because you've rolled deep, we try and make them earn their keep. So they've got to make a little bit of noise because it is radio after all.
Why not?
Why not? Now, you are the Jam Hot Record of the Week this week with your brand new tune, Take It Off.
Yeah.
Tell me the story behind this. It's a big one.
Yeah. To be honest, there's not much of a story behind it. It's just me and Geeta, my friend. She recorded the vocals. We put the track together and then, mate, to be honest, I played it once and it went viral on TikTok. And I haven't had anything to do with TikTok until this track. And it was crazy how quick that thing blew up. And then before you know it, and then when I played it at Coachella, people knew the words and they'd only heard it once. So that's how quick this thing blew up. And so here we are now talking about it, but it's been massive in my sets and I haven't had a track that's felt like this since losing it. So it's pretty cool and it gives me another couple of years in the limelight, mate. I'm coughing.
I think it's going to be more. It's going to be more than a couple of years, mate.
You never know, mate. You never know.
But the thing that I love about this is, as you say, you made it.
Yeah.
And then you played it. And because you made it and played it, the people have decided, no, this is the one.
Yeah, and it's weird. I don't know how that happens, but it does sometimes. And sometimes you think that you've made a bomb and the thing doesn't really do anything. And then, like this track, it just blew up. I think it's, the vocals are catchy. It's got a really nice bass line and it's just fun. It's a fun track. And everywhere I go, people seem to just love it.
Yeah, it feels like you as well.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's fun, it's bouncy, the bass line's big, it's cheeky, it's tongue-in-cheek.
Yep, and it's still got the synths on it as well, so it's got the Fisher charm.
Yes!
Yes, there you go.
Now, I can't lie, I was a bit nervous chatting to you today because my name isn't Chris, and I know that you and Chris's, there's a natural affinity for you and Chris. First of all, Mr. Christopher Lake.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I want to talk about you and he because your back-to-backs are ridiculously legendary.
Yeah.
Where did they all come about? Where did they start?
Mate, it started with Pasquale, who owns EDC, and basically he said that he wanted to see me and him close down the main stage, and it had never been done before by a house act. And he asked if we'd do it, and we said absolutely not.
Why?
We were just like, that music isn't big enough for that stage, and we do not want to put people to sleep.
Really?
And I was like, I don't know about that. And he was persistent, and he kept coming at us. And then me and Chris rang each other one day, and I was like, let's just do it. And Bob's Your Uncle. It started from that stage. It was one of the best shows that we've done, still to this day, really. And no one left, and that crowd enjoyed every bit of it. And, it was basically from there that the history was made between me and Chris. And then we started under construction and started doing our own back-to-backs. And, mate, it was wild. In America, it was wild. I mean, we were selling those things like 16 to 20,000 tickets in 5 minutes. And it was unheard of for house music at the time. And our goal at the end of all this, and this was before, once we got off stage after EDC, we set a goal and it was to headline Coachella, and we did it. And it was phenomenal. It was actually amazing.
Because I want to talk about that a little bit, because what you have done with house music, as you say, in terms of the genre, we know how much we love house music. We know how much house music is a proper universal language. You could turn up in South Africa and play a house set and people understand it. You could turn up in Outer Mongolia and play a house set and people understand it. But when it comes to main stages for huge US festivals, it's not been there until you have taken it there. How does that feel, knowing that you're pioneering something?
Yeah. I always think about that, actually. And I still feel like I get used as a guinea pig. But I
Stick Fisher, and if it works, then everybody else. Right, James Hyde, you ready? You're on next. Come on, let's go.
Exactly. It's like Brett, my manager, who always calls me, is like, hey, listen, they want to stick you here and do this. And I'm like, I'm never shy of a challenge, so I'll always have a crack. And I'm actually honoured that it has been me who's been able to do that. But I've been thrown in the deep end with some big challenges, and some of those stages are massive. And they can feel, you can feel very lonely up there sometimes on those puppies, but they are unbelievable to play. And I think that once you figure them out and just figure out what you need to do to make the people dance, you can pull it off. And I think the best thing for me, though, is now watching these other house artists that are coming on, you know, a year after me, and I see like more of them getting a set on the main stage, and I think that's kind of cool because, you know, it started with me. And then now it's like more and more it's progressing. Like you're seeing them closing out the EDC stages. Yes. You're seeing them be the headliner of that stage. It's cool. It's really cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see house music doing its thing at the moment, for sure.
We've wanted it and we've needed it.
Yeah.
And now it's here.
Well, mate, to be honest, I'm still not over Coachella.
Really?
No. And I don't think I ever will. I mean, I've played, I don't know how many weeks it's been after this. I think it's almost a month now. But I've been playing these shows and my head's still there. Like, before we walked out onto that stage and, you know, even days leading up to that, Chris was like, listen, people might not rock up and it might look empty. And I was like, what do you mean it's going to look empty? He's like, look, we're going up against some big dogs here. And I was like, are you kidding? And then as soon as we walked out that first weekend on that night, I looked at him and went, yeah, right, it's on. Yeah, it was an experience that I'll never forget. I mean, 65,000, I think we broke the stage record.
Wow.
And they've had Billie Eilish on that thing. And just for us, we look back at that. Me and Chris looked back at it the other day and we were just like, just two house artists just going mad.
One guy from Australia, one guy from England.
I thought he was from Scotland. That's how much I know about Chris.
What made you think he was Scottish?
I don't know. It's the size of the head on him. William Wallace.
Freedom! But it did look like, the Coachella set, it looked like it was a full body workout for you on stage. You were doing gymnastics. You were doing, was that just the energy of the moment?
No, the excitement running through my body. I swear, I've watched that set with him the next morning. I was like, are you kidding? Am I always like that? He's like, yes. But it was just like, when I walked out and seen that crowd and the energy, I just can't explain it. It's just hard to explain as an artist that gets to do that, how much adrenaline is running through your body. Like when I got off that stage, mate, I don't think I slept for 7 hours after that. And it wasn't because I wanted to party. It was just, I was
You just got off stage of the main stage of Coachella with 65,000 people.
It's just something that you can't really fathom. And I went home that night and just like basically watched every clip I could. I just went through every photo. I tried to just relive every moment of that. I basically do that with a lot of my shows. But yeah, for that one, it was just an exercise. I don't know. I'd like to wear one of those Aura rings or something just to see how many steps I actually do on stage.
That's why I wear this all the time. That's why I wear this all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
The end of a set for me, it's like 2,500 calories burned. For you, it's got to be like 4.
Really?
It's got to be about 4,000 calories.
Wow, 2,500.
Yeah.
Jeez, all right.
You aren't a DJ who will just hit play, like myself.
Yeah.
I can't be that guy that just presses play and just that's it.
Yeah.
You have moves.
Yep.
You have patented the wrist flick.
Yeah. Somehow.
Mate, it's legendary. Did that just come to you one time while you were playing? You were like, do you know what? Yes, have it.
Yeah, it did actually. It came when I first played Losing It. And I hadn't played the song before and I was playing the Do-Lab at Coachella. And I just remember turning around to my mate and I said, just pull your camera out and grab this for a minute. And I just remember looking back at his camera and I just started flicking the wrist as Losing It came in. And that was it. The rest is history.
What's that? Like that?
Just looking at him like that, just flicking it off, mate. Time to shine, baby. Losing It's here.
Speaking of Chris's, the other Chris that's big in your life, Mr. Hemsworth.
Yeah.
How did that bromance happen?
I've known him forever. He was on a local TV show called Home and Away. Actually, you guys love it over here.
We love Home and Away.
Famous as over here. The Aussies wouldn't even know who's on that show anymore, and the Brits just love him. But,
we love Home and Away, and because of us, Neighbours came back again.
There you go, Neighbours. Jared Rebecca.
Yeah, Toadfish. Good old Tony, eh?
But no, so I was a surfer at the time. And he was on Home and Away and we were at the Nickelodeon Awards and he sat next to me and we just started rapping out about surfing and stuff like that. And one thing led to another and I just took him for a surf and he's been my mate ever since. And it was funny. I was actually moving to America and he was too, but he was to pursue an acting career. And I didn't see him for like almost 2 years. And then we just basically our worlds, we came together basically.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that he got a part as Thor. And I was like, what's that all about? And he was like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to have a hammer. And I'm like, a hammer? What's that? You're going to be a superhero with a hammer, and now he's like the biggest Marvel character ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've known him forever, and he's always been a part of my life, and he's a good dude, really good dude.
Would you say that, you know, that Thor is your favourite Avenger, or are you much more of an Iron Man?
I like Iron Man, but I'd have to say he's the man. He's the boss. He's the boss.
Any plans of teaching him how to DJ? Maybe at Fisher, Chris Lake, Chris Hemsworth, back to back to back?
You never know. He always writes me off. He always says, "You're not an artist. What's the? You just push play and walk away, mate." No, he's more. To be honest, he actually finally came to watch me on my Aussie tour this year, and he was frothing. He was blown away by it all. I just don't think he's ever seen. He's not really into that kind of music.
Yeah.
He's more of like a Ed Sheeran kind of guy.
Likes his singer-songwriters.
Yeah, exactly. But
you've got to corrupt him.
Yeah,
you've got to.
Well, he came to Ibiza and didn't make my show because he got 2 beforehand and started spewing everywhere. So there you go. He's gonna hate that when you put that on air. He's a can only drink 3 beers. That's why he likes Ed Sheeran concerts, mate.
Stood there with a pipe for the whole thing. Just 2 sips.
Frozen Coke at Ed Sheeran's. He's frothing.
I would like to play a game with you.
Okay.
You up for a game?
All right.
It is called Set Roulette. Now, you will see that no expense has been spent on this game right here. We spin a magic wheel. The wheel either lands on cringe, wild, or weird. And we need to know either the wildest, weirdest, or cringiest thing that has happened to you either whilst playing or watching a set. See, look, no expense is spent. The wheel is spinning. It's radio. Hey! Wildest!
Well, the wildest thing was what that happened was I needed to do a while I was playing, and I thought that the thing at the front would cover the whole stage, but obviously it didn't, and so I started to a bottle, and this chick videoed it and then put it on Twitter, and James Mack actually found that video, and he was like, "Dude, we have got some serious going on. Like, you need to get rid of this video." And I was like, "Well, what is it?" And it was me doing a in this bottle, but the girl was pretty cool and she got it down, and I was like, wow, that could have been it could have been heavier than what it was.
We've all been there.
Yes.
We've all been there.
I mean, they had no portaloos anywhere there.
Straight in a bottle, straight on stage.
Yep.
Let's have it.
Hey, I couldn't leave the crowd hanging.
I love that. I love that because you're there to perform. You're there to play for them. And you know what? You just needed to relieve yourself.
Exactly.
And it's all good. And it's all good. I want to talk to you a little bit about Australia because you've led a wave.
Yeah.
Dom Dollar, Airwolf Paradise, like there's producers that are coming behind you you guys are taking over the world right now. What is it about Australia and the kind of the dance culture? I think you alluded to it with the fact that it's a surf culture as well, where there's a community. Do you think that then plays into those people that are now making just world-beating house music?
I don't know what it is about Australia, but I tell you what, when I was growing up, Australia was such a good place to go out and listen to different artists, or like Carl Cox, and everyone used to come into town. And then it kind of got a little weird there for a minute. And I feel like now, in the last, 4 years, it's come back, better than ever. And I think people like Rufus, Dom Dollar, Airwolf, he's blowing up right now with Patrick Topping and stuff like that. I honestly, I don't know how it's happening, but I feel like it's even some of the festivals that they have that are in the bush that's only got 3,000 people, some of the artists that they're bringing like DJ Boring, DJ Seinfeld, they're very educated over there. They like that kind of music. They've always had that kind of thing about it. I think Melbourne is one of the best states we have in Australia for music. The kids definitely like the underground music more than the commercial over there at the moment, which is so amazing to see. And I think when I was home, I noticed that a lot too. They definitely were looking for more like, Michael Bibby, stuff like that, Pauser, Patrick Topping. Yeah. Yeah, they want to see all that kind of stuff. So I think these kids are like coming overseas and they're seeing artists, over here in Ibiza, in America. They're definitely Australians have always been known to travel.
Yeah.
And so they're very cultured like that. And I think that's what happens with their music as well. They go everywhere to see and hear different tunes. So
you know what you need to do to redress the balance?
Yeah.
You need to join forces. There needs to be an Australian house mafia.
Yeah. Like the Swedish ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Start your own festival, take over, reintroduce it.
There you go. No, we should. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It'd be sick.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, we sold 77,000 tickets down there. 77,000 and it was going bonkers.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was it was special for me. I've never done that many tickets on my own. I played the Domain, which is in Sydney, which is every kid's dream to play. And
what would you say to the 14-year-old you when you stepped on stage?
Go mad, son. That's exactly what I'd say.
Because music wasn't always the dream for you. Surfing was the dream to begin with, wasn't it?
But I was always into music. My mum loved this kind of music. I grew up around it. My mum was into Carl Cox, into Eric Murillo, into all those people. She loved house music everywhere. Everywhere I went, in the house, she had it on, in the car. So it's always been a part of my DNA. I think I got to a point in my surf career where I realised I was wasn't going to make it, so I needed to figure out something else. And music had always been on my mind. I mean, I used to go to Ibiza in like 2005 and 4, and yeah, I've seen it all. I've done it. I mean, I love music. I've always loved music. Even with the surf culture that I was in, it was always about Pennywise and Blink-182 and all that. And then there was me listening to this real underground like Ricardo Villalobos or, it was wild. And I just used to love that stuff. So, no, it's always been there. And then I just think I realised one day how much more I loved it than surfing. Don't get me wrong, I love surfing.
Yes.
But it's now a hobby for me and I enjoy it more than ever.
Because it's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And, music's my life.
Speaking of your mum, and it's your mum you've got to thank for your musical taste.
Yeah, no, she's a frother. My mum's such a raver, she can actually party.
Really?
And, she's 74 years old. She'd hate me saying that, but 74 years old. And I remember we were partying at the house after Coachella, and this one guy, it was about 11 a.m. in the morning, he comes in, he goes, geez, I just want to go to bed, but I ain't going anywhere until that lady off first. And I was like, mate, that's my mum and she ain't going anywhere, son. Right, yeah.
Yes!
Laps it up. And then, she's full of beans. That's where we got our personalities, our energy. It was special to have her there, that's for sure. And it was full last minute too, so it was nice. It worked out perfect.
That is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That really is beautiful. Keeping the family vibe strong.
Yeah.
There was a really cute video of your goddaughter absolutely loving one of your sets last year. Mm-hmm. Has she been to any more of your shows?
She came to the Melbourne show in Australia. And yeah, she loved it, but mate, she's so fun. I get sent videos every day of her just bopping to my music. She's watched that Tomorrowland set, I think, 1,000 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah, she knows every bit. She grooves. She's on. Yeah, no, she's a classic. I definitely want to take her to another couple. It was funny. I actually was playing in Detroit yesterday at Movement Fest, and a guy had his daughter there as well with the same pink headphones bopping around. I was like, that's epic. It's cool to see. Some people don't like it, but I don't mind it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I've taken my kids to festivals for years.
Yeah.
Stand at the side of the stage, watch Daddy DJ. Come on.
Yeah, it's epic.
This is what pays the mortgage. Let's go.
Exactly. It's funny though, because that first video that went viral with her in the corner, obviously she was up on stage. I think she was, I don't even know, 8, 9 months or whatever, and she was bopping, smiling, getting the groove, and I was like, whoa, she's actually digging this. And then now to see where she's going, progressing with it all, she just loves it.
Wow.
Yeah, she's definitely frothing. She knows all the tunes. Mate, they had a yoga studio and she was in the park and she could hear World Hold On. And she walked from out of the park, which was like, she had to walk probably 2 to 3 minutes. She could hear the music and she walked into the yoga studio. She started bopping in there like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's sick. It's nice. She's my #1 fan.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, number 2, because your mum's your number 1 fan.
Yeah.
Fisher, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in the studio, my man.
Legends. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome anytime.